Rory Vaden and AJ Vaden. Wealthy and well-known. Build your brand and turn your reputation into revenue. Are you tired of having brilliant ideas that aren't getting noticed? You're not alone. Many future Hall of Fame speakers and best-selling authors have spent decades feeling lost and overlooked despite their expertise, including Rory and AJ Vaden. This blink reveals the hard-won strategies that helped them build eight-figure businesses while supporting clients in becoming New York Times bestsellers, viral speakers, and top-ranked podcasters. You'll discover how to break free from default living and intentionally craft the legacy you want to leave. Whether you're an expert, entrepreneur, or executive, these proven methods will help you expand your influence, amplify your impact, and yes, generate more income. Your reputation is your insurance. Imagine losing everything you've worked for in a single meeting. That's exactly what happened to AJ Vaden when she got fired from a company she'd helped build up for 12 years. But then she discovered something surprising. Getting fired was actually a gift. It forced her to realize that while companies can eliminate positions overnight, one thing remains untouchable: your reputation. Most professionals understand the merits of talent and hard work, but they underestimate the power of reputation, believing that exceptional work automatically leads to recognition and success. Consider two Olympic swimmers with comparable achievements, Michael Phelps and Katie Ledecky. Despite both of them winning a superhuman number of Olympic gold medals, Phelps became a household name, while Ledecky remained relatively unknown. The difference isn't talent, it's reach. Here's a simple formula that will change how you go about business. Results: X reach, Jabton reputation. You don't just need exceptional work, you also need people to know about it. Most experts still make the critical mistake of spending years perfecting their craft, but zero time building their reach. Meanwhile, less qualified people with better marketing skills often win more business. It's frustrating, but it's reality. If you still feel a little hesitant about marketing yourself in this way, consider this. People already form opinions about your capabilities and character all the time. Every interaction, every piece of work, every conversation contributes to this perception. The question is, do you want to control what they think when they hear your name, or do you want to leave it to chance? The goal isn't self-promotion for its own sake. It's about strategically expanding your reach so you can better serve others with your expertise. So start thinking of reputation building as career insurance. In unpredictable times, your professional identity travels with you across industries, companies, and circumstances. Unlike job titles or salaries, a strong reputation is your most valuable and portable asset, one that opens doors long after specific roles end. Who are you? Most people can describe their job title, but few can tell you who they really are. This is a problem because strong personal brands are built on strong personal identities. So in order to build a reputation, you need to understand what makes you unique and hyper-focus on that. Here's where many people fail. They're creating content on multiple platforms, offering various services, and trying to appeal to everyone. But this scattered approach is exactly what destroys personal brands. The harsh reality is that when you spread yourself across too many topics, audiences, and revenue streams, you get diluted results. Consider YouTuber Lewis Howes, who despite generating millions in revenue, felt overwhelmed managing 17 different income streams. His breakthrough came only when he eliminated nearly everything to focus solely on his podcast, growing from 30 million to 500 million downloads in just 2.5 years. There's another critical mistake that people make when developing their personal brand. They copy what successful people do now, not what they did to break through initially. Author and internet personality Gary Vaynerchuk didn't start by discussing everything on his social media. He initially focused exclusively on wine. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was a pro wrestler for years before becoming a multi-business mogul. Breaking through in business is like breaking through a wall with a sledgehammer. Random swings accomplish nothing. But if you hit the same spot repeatedly, the wall will eventually break. So think carefully about the spot you'd like to hit. What is the one big thing you care about? The one thing you can offer? If this seems difficult, consider this principle. You're most powerfully positioned to serve the person you once were, the struggles you've faced, the challenges you've conquered, the setbacks you've survived. All of these uniquely position you to help people in a similar situation. For Howes, his mission was overcoming self-doubt after his football career ended, which was his podcast's original focus. The practical takeaway here is to stop trying to be everything to everyone. Identify your one uniqueness rooted in your personal journey, then pursue it relentlessly. Who are you working for? Once you figure out who you are, you can start figuring out how to help people. This means identifying a one-word problem that you can solve for them. A problem isn't a vague feeling, but a concrete obstacle that's blocking your audience from their goals. It should also be something people readily admit to having and are willing to discuss openly. Consider radio guru Dave Ramsey, who built a multi-hundred-million-dollar business by owning one word: debt. For 30 years, he's said virtually the same thing on the radio every day, yet millions tune in because he became the go-to authority on that specific problem. Similarly, author Brené Brown transformed from an unknown research professor to a global influencer by dedicating herself to studying shame. Many experts make a critical mistake here. They focus only on their solutions, but don't do enough to acknowledge the problem. But people don't buy solutions. They buy the disappearance of problems. Your brain is biologically wired to filter out irrelevant information, which means if someone doesn't acknowledge having the problem you solve, they'll literally ignore you at a subconscious level. Here's the practical framework. Market the problem, teach the cause, sell the solution. The problem is what you promote to grab attention. It's what people know they struggle with. The cause is what you address in your teaching. The deeper reason why the problem exists, which people are typically unaware of. The solution lies in your content and services. When you become known as the person who understands and solves one specific problem better than anyone else, people will seek you out and pay premium prices for your expertise. The more specific the problem and the more focused your messaging, the better. There's an old trick that authors use that can help your brand strategy immensely. Instead of trying to keep in mind your entire audience when creating content, write or record for one specific person only. When you craft content for a specific individual, you naturally connect with everyone facing similar challenges. So rather than beginning with your mission statement, start by defining this one ideal audience member. Begin with basic details like age and profession, then explore their internal world. What stresses them, what they dream about, what problems keep them awake at night. Develop this into a complete character sketch that's just as detailed as a novel's protagonist. From now on, trying to help this protagonist will guide every decision you make, from social media content to pricing strategies to product design. By focusing on one concrete solution for one concrete person, you attract exactly the audience you want. Your specificity becomes your strength, not your limitation. The follower fallacy. If reputation is built on reach, you might expect social media to be the holy grail of modern business. The more followers, the more reach, the more reputation, right? Not quite. The link between people's income and number of social media followers is weaker than many think. Some athletes with 2 million followers earn as much as those with 150 million followers. Some of the richest people on earth, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, hardly use social media at all. This reveals a crucial truth about personal branding. Reach isn't measured in pure numbers, and audience size doesn't determine income. You can generate substantial revenue from relatively small, engaged communities. The key lies not only in understanding yourself and your audience, but also your revenue model. There are 5 main revenue models, or the so-called PAIDS. You can create physical products, monetize through ads or affiliates, develop information offerings like courses, negotiate deals with ongoing royalties, or provide services through consulting and coaching. All of these are great options, but don't pursue them simultaneously, a mistake many entrepreneurs make. Most wealthy individuals built their fortunes by first mastering just one venture: Amazon for Bezos, Microsoft for Gates. Diversification should only happen after achieving wealth, not as a path to it. The most powerful growth strategy is based on fractal math. Consider that around 10% of customers are willing to invest 10 times more in premium offerings, things such as one-on-one coaching. So rather than constantly acquiring new clients, smart businesses deepen relationships with existing ones. This works because modern consumers face information overload. They don't need more data, it's freely available everywhere. Instead, they'll pay for organized, actionable guidance and personalized support. The more customized and intimate the service, the higher the price point. So focus on serving fewer people exceptionally well, and you'll generate more profit than if you spread your efforts across massive audiences. Building trust through content. How would you feel if a complete stranger treated you like their closest friend the moment you met? That's exactly what happened when Rory and AJ Vaden visited Tokyo and were greeted by a conference host who knew intimate details about their lives, family stories, sports preferences, even their financial philosophies. Even though they'd never spoken before, the host had spent years quietly consuming the Vadens' content. As a result, he felt deeply connected to people he'd never met. This demonstrates how strategic content creation can build genuine relationships at a massive scale. This is important because trust forms the foundation of every business transaction. Research reveals 3 core elements that build trust: visibility, familiarity, and value delivery. Visibility builds recognition. We naturally trust faces we see regularly. It's why celebrity endorsements work despite us knowing nothing about the person's real character. This means your potential customers need to encounter your message repeatedly before making purchasing decisions. Familiarity deepens connections. When you share authentic beliefs and values, you attract customers who resonate with your worldview. Studies show that 67% of Americans will pay more for products from companies whose founders align with their personal values. Value creates loyalty. Teaching useful information triggers a psychological response where people extend trust as gratitude for knowledge received. This makes education-focused content the most effective type for customer conversion, even though entertaining content gets more viral reach. A simple way to address all of these pillars is by regularly answering customer questions on video. Keep the structure straightforward, pose the question, explain why it matters, provide your solution, then direct viewers toward a next step. Don't be disappointed if the first video only gets 40 views. This might feel like nothing compared to viral content, but imagine addressing 40 people in person. That's 40 real individuals whose lives you could potentially improve. To truly measure success, track how many people share their email for direct contact and how many request personal consultations. These metrics reveal whether strangers are moving toward becoming customers. Remember that success requires persistence and genuine care for your audience. You are the perfect person to help your customer, they just don't know it yet. The main takeaway of this Blink to Wealthy and Well-Known by Rory and AJ Vaden is that a strong personal brand is the key to business success. With strategic reputation building, anyone can transform their expertise into influence and income. Initially, this requires laser focus. You need to identify your unique identity rooted in personal experience, then consider how you can serve the person you once were. This means finding one specific problem you solve better than anyone else, teaching people what causes it, and then selling them the solution. Contrary to popular belief, you don't need a massive social media following to achieve this. Instead, concentrate on deepening relationships with smaller audiences. Build trust through consistent content that provides visibility, familiarity, and value. In this way, your personal brand becomes your career insurance, transcending job titles and economic uncertainty. Okay, that's it for this Blink. We hope you enjoyed it. If you can, please take the time to leave us a rating. We always appreciate your feedback. See you soon.